Hello, everybody. This is Skip Alzheimer. Welcome to the AV Geeks Lunchtime streaming show. That last reel was given to me. It was original material that was shot, and supposedly it was by WTVD, which is a local TV station, which is kind of based in Durham. We're in Raleigh. And supposedly they had a reputation, when I moved to Raleigh, of being the ambulance chaser news team, in that they would always show up and show pictures of car crashes and things like that. And this certainly bears it out. And so this is original material. So this was like somebody spliced all these reels together. And maybe it was a former camera person at WTVD, but it ended up with somebody else who ended up with somebody else, and I ended up with it. And so I digitized it and put it online. And somebody must have used it for a music video or for their own project and claimed copyright on it. And I got a warning from YouTube saying that I was showing copyrighted material, which I know is not the case. So I'm going to wait. Probably it'll be later today. They'll send me a follow-up to who owns it, supposedly, who owns it. And I guarantee it's going to be a music video. So I hope to follow up with that. This has happened in the past, and happened in a really horrible way, in that I got put in YouTube jail for 90 days because some intern at Warner Brothers used some footage that I had online at the Internet Archive. They used it online and claimed it for some Neil Young videos that were just footage of just archival footage. And the hammer came down like, oh, I'm using copyrighted material, blah, blah, blah. And I tried to fight it. And I was in copyright jail for a while and was actually beginning to try to line up a lawyer to fight it because it was just ludicrous. Of course, one of the shots was this shot of American flag and Statue of Liberty. So it was kind of ironic, all these icons of freedom being squelched. And generally what I do is when because I get copyright stuff all the time, and some of it is legitimate because it's background music. And, these films have background music in it. Now, the fact that I'm using it in the context of the background music, it should be licensed for that, but I don't know, because those licenses were signed 50, 60 years ago. But for music videos and for people that are using the works currently, I have to say, look, we aren't claiming copyright on this 2020 music video. We're just saying that we posted this footage from the 40s that they used that's in the public domain. So we're not claiming any copyrights. So usually they get cleared up, but that hammer came down pretty hard. It was very, very frustrating. And, like I said, I'm on my third YouTube channel. The first one was like, I'm going to put everything on there. Then the second one, I was like, all right, I'm going to be a little bit better about it, but still not. And then, yeah. So now I'm trying to be better about it, but you can't be better about it because obviously robots don't care. All right. So back less about how horrible YouTube's copyright robots are, and more about how great the 1975 Chevrolets are.
The all-new 65 Chevrolet with the look to remember and jet-smooth ride.
Beautiful shapes make Chevrolet the beautiful shape for 65.
Sometimes you get a feeling about cars that everything's black and white, either too fancy or too simple. Take another look. See the positive approach to owning a practical car. The 65 Chevy 2 from Chevrolet. A new roofline gives the Chevy 2 four-door sedans a bright, clean look. And inside, there's plenty of family-size room, despite the fact that Chevy 2 has the handling ease of a smaller car. Got a negative feeling about driving these days? Try a Chevy 2. It's the positive approach to owning a beautifully practical car. Style, handling, room, and pleasure all packed into one beautiful package. See the 1965 Chevy 2 at your Chevrolet dealers now.
What's earned a place between the 1965 Chevrolet and Chevy 2? The new Chevelle. And with its smart styling, Chevelle deserves your undivided attention for a minute. The 65 Chevelle size is right to fit in your driveway, your garage, your way of living. You watch. The new 1965 Chevelle will start appearing all over as people discover Chevelle's youthful good looks. The nicest people are discovering Chevelle. It serves them right. You'll find a Chevelle that fits in right with your new car plans. The 65 Chevelle is appearing now at your Chevrolet dealers. Why not pop in and see? A new one. A new work power trucks. By Chevrolet. The long, strong line for 65 with the greatest model expansion in Chevrolet truck history. The work power trucks. New medium-duty diesel trucks for more work power and big diesel savings. New work power from new engines. New work power from new models. New work power in the long, strong line for 65. See the new Chevrolet trucks, the 1965 work power trucks at your Chevrolet dealers.
Once I had a little girl with a pretty little curl, and I gave her 4 wheels, 4 little wheels. I gave her 4 wheels to go on. Then 4 wheels were 3, 3 wheels were 2. Now it's 4 wheels again, 4 wheels again, to go out in the world on.
This is a Chevrolet dealer's used car lot, where my little girl and I found her first car. She couldn't miss. So much to choose from at the OK sign, plus a helpful salesman. Everything's okay now.
Still I can't help but feel the time's too short between these wheels and these wheels.
There are many fine buys at your Chevrolet dealer's used car lot. Look for the OK sign.
Queen City Chevrolet Company at 414 East Court Street is your personal shopping center for Chevrolet cars and trucks in Cincinnati. For all your automotive needs, see Queen City Chevrolet Company.
So exciting. Big fan. And so those were from a bunch of films that we got from Memphis. I drove a 25-foot U-Haul over the Smoky Mountains and the Blue Ridge Mountains to Memphis, Tennessee, and picked up a bunch of educational films, but then also picked up a bunch of these theater ad films, of which this was a part, and they had these demo reels of advertising that they would potentially show in a theater, like before the film started. So advertising in theaters has been around for quite a while. And also I got some porn. There was some adult theater footage in there that was beat up shape, really bad shape, but it's not what I collect, but every once in a while it happens. It shows up. This is it kind of works. It was all random, or maybe it wasn't random, but this is the film is he didn't have time, and there's a little bit of a lag or a blank spot at the beginning, and anyways, I'm not quite sure where I got this from, but it's about tires.
How did it happen, Jack?
Same old story. Smooth tires, blowout, and a guy in a hurry.
Do you have that?
Yes, Doctor, that's fine. Thank you.
I'll be back in a few moments.
He's so quiet, nurse. What did the doctor say? Will he be all right?
Don't worry, Mr. Palmer. The doctor will be back in just a little while.
This didn't have to happen. How could I have been so careless? If only I'd listened, but well, we were in a hurry and I didn't have time. I didn't have time.
Okay, Dad, all set for camp. Daddy, please, can I go? I want to go to camp, too.
Maybe next year, when you're a big girl.
But I want to go now.
Oh, you've got to stay home and take care of your mother.
Daddy.
Here's some fruit for you, Johnny. Now remember, be a good boy at camp.
Don't worry, Mom, I will.
Good afternoon, sir. Fill her up? Yes, and make it regular. Well, it won't be long now, Johnny. We'll be there in an hour.
Yeah, I hope so, Dad.
You've got some dangerous tires here. Badly worn. Matter of fact, they could cause you some trouble. Even a blowout.
Well, how can that be? Why, this car is practically new. It's only a little over a year old. Well, these tires ought to be okay.
Well, you never can tell. Some drivers are pretty hard on tires. Take these new high-power cars with quicker starts, faster speed, power steering, power brakes. This means hard, fast tire wear.
Well, I haven't got time right now. I'll talk to you about tires some other time.
Now, if you've just got a minute, I'd like to show you our new premium quality safety tire that gives longer mileage. Gives you extra protection against skidding, punctures, even blowouts. Can I show it to you?
Come on, Dad. It's getting late. Let's go.
See what I mean? We haven't got time. I'm taking the boy off to camp. How much do I owe you?
He didn't have time. That's right. He didn't have time. He couldn't spare the few minutes that it would have taken to learn how the Firestone premium quality tire prevents blowout accidents. I hope you have time. It might save you an accident. It could save the lives of those dear to you. This is the all-new Firestone premium quality tire, the safest, longest wearing tire ever built. If that sounds like a strong statement, it's meant to be. Because this tire is guaranteed to do everything we say for it. All right, What does the premium quality tire have that no other tire has? Here is a section of the tire. Let's take a good, close look at its exclusive safety features. The tread of the Firestone premium quality tire has a wider, deeper design that sets it apart from all other tires. This unique, wider, deeper tread puts more rubber on the road to bring you extra non-skid safety and added traction on wet or slippery pavement. First, here's the safety-fortified all-nylon cord body, the strongest, safest cord body ever used in passenger car tires. It gives you the greatest impact protection ever built into a tire. You never need to worry about hitting chuck holes, curbs, and other dangerous road hazards. But that's only part of our story. In addition to this protection against impact, you get protection against punctures. Inside every Firestone premium quality tire is the silver safety seal. It's made of Firestone's new wonder rubber, Dyene. Dyene not only provides cool running safety at highway speeds, but thanks to this Firestone exclusive, you can now ride secure on puncture-safe tires. Let's see how it protects against punctures. If a nail should puncture this tire, the silver safety seal smothers it with an airtight grip. There's no loss of air. And chances are, you won't even know about it. Then when you bring your car in for a safety check, the nail can be removed and the tire easily repaired. The Firestone premium quality tire ends your fear of blowouts too. And remember, even new tires can blow out when slashed or cut by sharp objects on the highway. Did you ever see what happens when a blowout occurs to an ordinary tire? We're going to deliberately blow out this front tire. First, we'll speed the car up to 65 miles an hour, a recognized speed limit on most turnpikes. Now, watch what happens. What chance would anyone have in such a horrible accident? And it could happen to you. But it doesn't have to happen. It's sheer recklessness to risk the possibility of a blowout. Let me show you. The Firestone premium quality tire has a 2-ply inner safety tire with a built-in safety valve that completely ends fear of blowouts. Here's how it works. Suppose you do have a blowout. The emergency tire goes into action immediately and gives you complete control of the car. That's the way it actually happens. Now let's take a closer look at that all-important safety valve. When the blowout occurs, the safety valve automatically closes. 2/3 of the air supply in the tire is actually retained within the 2-ply inner safety tire. Remember, even new tires can blow out if cut or slashed. Supposing you're driving along the turnpike at high speed. Suddenly, your tire blows out. The Firestone premium quality tire cannot collapse. It drops only 1.5 inches, supported by the inner safety tire. You can come to a safe stop with the car under complete control. That's how the Firestone premium quality tire protects you from blowout accidents. But this finest of tires also brings added traction on wet or slippery pavement. And I don't have to tell you the danger of a skid. Here's another advantage of the premium quality tire. It's made of Firestone rubber X101 that gives you a hush-hush ride without tire whine or squeal, even on the sharpest turn. It cushions the road for the softest ride you've ever known. This tread is wider and deeper. You get much longer mileage. And the Firestone premium quality tire is designed from start to finish to meet the extraordinary demands of modern-day driving. Modern cars are engineered for faster driving. The newer highways are designed for increased speeds. It is an era of progress that Americans welcome. an era of better performance that enables us to drive greater distances swiftly, comfortably, and safely. Technical advances in automobile development have contributed to these better car performances we enjoy today. But above and beyond any single factor that makes driving more enjoyable are the tires on our cars. What kind do you drive? Do they protect you from punctures? Do they protect you from blowouts? Do they protect you against skidding? Do your tires have built-in peace of mind?
Hi. Hi, Johnny. How's the boy?
Okay.
How do you like those premium quality tires, Mr. Palmer?
They're great, Joe. They're everything you said they'd be. No more punctures, no more blowouts, and they ride like a dream. Fill her up, Joe.
Right, Mr. Palmer.
Right is the word for it. Firestone premium quality tires give you built-in peace of mind. They're speedway proved for turnpike safety. They're puncture safe. They're blowout safe. They're skid safe. Put a set on your car today.
Great film. Didn't have time. Somebody commented, a couple of people commented that it felt like a Sid Davis film at the beginning, and it certainly did have that kind of feel, except that Sid Davis often didn't pay for sync sound dialogue like he would have narration. This one had sync sound. Well, kind of sync sound. It was a little off because of a setting in this OBS software. But yeah, that's one of the things you can tell if it's a Sid Davis film, if it's, just narration. There's not people talking. You see people talking, but it's just the narrator saying, and then he said, blah, blah, blah. And it's because shooting sound on sets and outside is expensive, and it's hard to do, and it requires this extra level of forethought. And Sid Davis was he was kind of an amateur professional, and he hired people probably of similar ilk. And he was like, why should I pay for sync sound when I can just have a narrator do it at the end? So anyways, hey, Kevin, thank you so much for the coffee. Buying me coffee is a way to support AV Geeks. And so thank you for that. You can also hit like and subscribe. That's another way to show your support. And just commenting is great. And there's been lots of great comments today. So, and I should say thank you to Rebecca for this next film. This next film, she actually mailed it to me. She had it, and she's like, do you want it? And I was like, oh, yeah. I have not seen this film, so I might have to, if it suddenly gets really scary, which I don't think it will. I have other films of this ilk, and I kind of know where they go. But if we see a bunch of actual dead bodies, I might have to stop it. Anyways, so here is Bomb Threat. Plan, don't panic. Thank you again, Rebecca, who is on Facebook. So please thank her.
office are people doing their jobs, reporting for work, putting in a full day, and proud of the work they do, of the place they work. But there are others, a few others. There are vengeful people who want to scare you. And there are those who want to change the system abruptly, by terror, by panic, by destruction. We've read and we view much violence. These are turbulent times. But we always have the feeling, not me, it's somebody else's problem. By recent count, close to 1,000 of these little toys are put together each year. One may be on its way to where you are.
Yes, just a minute, please. Mr. West from White...
We may be feeling secure, but someone may be planning to give us a jolt. It only takes a dime, a single dime, a payphone, and a mean little mind.
Good morning. Afternoon, Consolidated Services.
I just put a bomb in your building. You're all going to get blown up.
Pardon? What's that?
I just put a bomb in the building. Get out.
When this call comes in, it can be a real stunner. So you've got to keep your cool. If you stay calm, listen carefully, speak up, you can get vital information. Try to keep them talking. You can find out when. Ask, when is it set for?
When is it set to go off?
2 o'clock. You'd better get out now.
Listen carefully. Write everything down. Keep talking. Ask where. Try to find out where it was placed.
At 2 o'clock, Where did you put it?
On the first floor. Right on your floor.
Why are you doing this?
That's it. Keep talking. But remember, he's getting nervous now. Afraid of a phone tap or trace.
Why are you doing this?
I don't like the way you people... I don't like...
To beat the terrorist, you need a plan. Lives may depend on it. There must be someone in charge. If you have a man in charge of security, he'll be it. If you're in a hospital, it might be the administrator. In a school, it'll be the principal. In a small business, the manager, owner. Many times, it's the personnel director. It takes one person to set the plan in motion.
George, pick up 40 right now.
Yes?
Mr. Barkley, this is Betsy in accounting. A man just called about a bomb. He called at 12:43.
Okay, what did he say?
He says it's set for 2, and it's on the first floor, my floor.
Anything else?
He said he didn't like us, then hung up. He's a young man, no accent. That's all I got.
Did you hear anything in the background?
Yeah, traffic noise. Sounds like the street. Like a payphone on the street.
Good girl. We'll roll on it right now. And keep your cool, huh? Step number 1. Call the police or sheriff. They have the training to handle a bomb if found. Give them your exact location. Call in the search crew right now.
Building crew to Mr. Berkeley's office, please. Building crew to Mr. Berkeley's office.
The call? Yeah, I'll fill you in as soon as the others get here. We've practiced, but this could be for real. We never know for sure, so we've got to check.
This is it?
Yeah, we think so. Okay. It's supposed to be on this floor, set for 2 o'clock. We've got just under an hour and a quarter. We don't know what we're looking for. But remember, we're looking for something that doesn't belong where it is. You fellas all know your areas, so look everywhere. The officers will be here in a few minutes. Okay? Let's move. Hey! If you spot anything, don't touch it. Call in here. The experts will handle it. For an effective search, you have to be organized. Divide your area into sectors. Your search crew should be volunteers who know their areas well. Maintenance people know what should be in an area and what shouldn't. Your crew has to be ready to move immediately. What are they looking for? Any one of a number of things. Some of them are right out in the open. Some are partly concealed. Some bombers get very tricky. And it could be a hoax. There's nothing there at all. But lives can be at stake. You have to look, and look everywhere. You're looking for something that doesn't belong, doesn't fit its surroundings. And the terrorist has developed another new wrinkle, the bomb that's planted without a warning. All of your people have to be aware of the suspicious package. The rule is, don't touch it. Don't move it. Call in and report anything suspicious. Hi, I'm Barclay personnel. Call came in at 12:43, and this is everything we have on it.
Your search team out?
Yes.
Can we help look?
No, they've been trained and they know this building inside out.
They know if they find anything, we'll handle it.
Right. They'll call in.
What's your plan?
Well, we've split the building into 4 sectors, plus the garden area. The men are searching those now. Now, if we have to, here's how I'm going to get the people out. The front, the side, the rear exits, across the parking lot, and we'll hold them here in the garage area. They'll be safe and out of the weather there. Should you get everyone out? That's a tough decision. One you may have to make. You have to judge the seriousness of the threat. For example, if it's some kid calling with other kids laughing in the background, it would be worth a search. 99 chances out of 100 the call's a hoax. They just want to see you run. But that other chance, as I said, it's a tough decision. Now, this guy's an adult. He's calling from what sounds like a phone booth. He's got some beef with the company, and he said 2 o'clock. This doesn't sound serious.
Well, if you have to move them out, we'll help.
Is that your purse?
Yeah, it's mine.
It's a tough job looking for some unknown object. You don't know what shape, size, color, anything. And you probably feel that most of the time there isn't anything but a liar on the phone anyway. Nothing. But there's that one outside chance. You've got to look.
George, I think I got something. It's a thermos with some stuff spilling out.
Thermos?
Don't touch it! Don't touch it!
I've been looking for that for weeks. It's that god-awful pea soup she keeps giving me. Cool it! Cool it!
Sorry, George. False alarm. We haven't found anything. Now, Lou's finished with his area. He's helping me. Yeah, we checked the garage.
Dan, hold it. Get the cops down here. I'll keep the people away. You get out.
May I have your attention, please? This is a fire drill. The building must be evacuated immediately. Walk. Repeat. Walk to the south and west exits. Cross the parking lot to the garage. Wait there. May I have your attention? Everyone must take his personal belongings and leave the building by the south and west exits. Go through the parking lot to the garage.
Wow. Thank you, Rebecca, for that film. That was great. And I actually have quite a few films about bombs. I was looking it up here in my collection to see. Obviously, I've shown some. Postmark Terror was one. But I've got, let's see, Bomb Threat Procedure, which is very comparable to this. Bombs 2, Bombs 3, Bomb Basics, Threat, Car Bomb, Bombs 1 too, as well. And I think Bombs 1 has Mickey Rooney in it? No, maybe it's Bombs 2 that has Mickey Rooney. And I have a film called Center Bombs, which I haven't seen yet. I don't even know what that is. Bomb Basic is about bombs on trains. Let's see. Which one is that? Yeah, Bombs 2. Mickey Rooney plays a mad bomber who calls a hospital and basically says he's planted a bomb, and if his friend dies, then everybody dies. The problem with these films are that some of them are very much how to make a bomb and where to plant it, and so those I've been not showing because I feel somewhat responsible that I don't want people to look at that and say, like, oh, I learned how to make a bomb, blah, blah, blah. You know, learning how to deliver a baby, I'm fine with that, but not making a bomb. I just feel a little weird about that. So that's why I've kind of not shown every bomb film that I have. But they are quite something. They're really quite stunning. Rick, thank you for the coffee. And then somebody anonymously donated coffee, and I don't know who it was, but thank you for that. The caffeine and the tension of thinking that there's a thermos with an explosive nearby is enough for me to be scared. Another thing that makes some people scared is stage fright, and that's what this film is about.
There may not be many people who can speak from experience about how it feels to jump out of an airplane, but there are probably quite a few who, given a choice between making the jump or making a speech about it, would rather face the fall. If you're one of them, if stage fright has you up in the air, let's consider how to cope with it so you land on your feet. The first step in learning to control stage fright, in making it work for you, lies in understanding it, what it is, why it happens. Stage fright is fear, of course, physical fear with all its symptoms, a rapidly beating heart, a flushed face, a dry mouth, and tremors of the hand, compelling some kind of nervous action to dispel them. And that's the whole point of all the physical manifestations, action. When you are confronted with any kind of fear-inducing situation, chemical changes take place inside your body to pave the way for action. In a bloodstream circulating at a pace sufficient for normal activities, the release of a temporary oversupply of adrenaline triggered by fear causes a circulatory speed-up, a kind of instant re-gearing for a higher level of performance. That's why seasoned performers like concert artists welcome the butterflies that come backstage. They know they'll give a higher level of performance because of them. A professional actor will dispel some of his excess anxiety in the way nature meant it to be dispelled, by action, by pacing back and forth before he goes on stage. Now, why does a speaker get an overdose of adrenaline? And most do. Why this response to danger syndrome when there's no physical danger apparent? You get it because you care about what others think of you. Your life may not be at stake, but your sense of pride, of self-importance, certainly is. You look at them, and you imagine that they're bored. They're thinking how funny you look. Or they're disagreeing with you. You imagine it. In other words, you've psyched yourself into the same state you'd experience if you were facing fire and shell. But what you can psych yourself into, you can psych yourself out of. And you begin by concentrating on something besides yourself and your shortcomings.
The important thing to remember is that you wouldn't have been asked to speak if someone didn't want to hear what you have to say. A real desire to communicate can obscure a physical handicap and help overcome stage fright. By concentrating on communication, you do away with your consciousness of self. You don't have to have the good looks of a movie star to be a good speaker. Not even all movie stars are handsome or beautiful. Abraham Lincoln was not the dashing man of his time. Winston Churchill was not exactly thin. And Franklin Roosevelt often delivered his talks to the nation from a wheelchair.
It's true. Great speakers concentrate on the message. They know that no one is born free of the mechanisms that trigger stage fright, that we're all in the same boat, and that what we have to say is what is going to carry us through the rough waters of stage fright. So spend as much time as you can developing what you have to say. Find out all there is to know about your subject. Keep digging for facts and information, much more than you can possibly use. Why? Because some of what you dig out is going to be odd, interesting, unusual. The very kind of hooks that will make your material interesting and important to your audience. Inspiration rarely, if ever, comes out of the blue. Inspiration is a byproduct of the perspiration you pour into research and preparation. Picture your future audience in your mind and decide what result you want to get from them. Do you want to persuade, inform, entertain? Have a clear grasp of the effect you wish to create. Then practice. Develop your confidence in your outline or notes by actual tests before an audience that can be both critical and appreciative. You. Don't memorize or write out your text unless for some reason you must read it. Know how you are going to begin and end, but use your notes only to make certain you cover all you want to say. When you're up there with all eyes upon you, the better you look, the better you're going to feel. So before the big day, get the clothes that make you feel best. And take care of personal grooming. The speaker who is least self-conscious may be the one who was most conscious of self beforehand. Comes the dawn. Are you going to be a nerveless man of steel? No. You're not a robot. You'll feel tension. But your self-preconditioning will help control the tension so that most traces of it are hidden. And what's left will spark your performance.
Jim recently qualified to compete in this year's National Skydiving Championships. Today, he is going to tell us a little bit about the sport of skydiving. Jim?
Speaking and jumping have much in common. Listen.
Skydiving, like many other things, is simply a matter of self-control, a state of mind. Most jumpers never completely overcome their sense of fear, but this is not necessarily a bad thing. A little bit of controlled fear, apprehension, or whatever you choose to call it, makes you more alert and more perceptive. Everyone who wants to learn to skydive must learn to control his fear. Uncontrolled fear can be a dangerous handicap, but properly managed tension can give you the sense of power and confidence that you will need until you're back on the ground. I would now like to show you a picture of some of the main parts that a parachute jumper must have.
Visual aids can be lifesavers for a speaker, giving him strings to pull, so to speak, to satisfy his body's need for action under stress, letting him talk with his body to help break his tensions and free his mind to concentrate on what he is saying. But if you use visual aids, be careful not to become so preoccupied with them that you lose eye contact with your listeners. Remember, those people out there are participating too, so interact with them as individuals. Look at them. Pick out the friendly ones, those who are truly interested, and respond to their interest, but not always to the same ones. Let those who seem to be bored or preoccupied interact with their private worlds. If you let yourself go, be yourself, use body motions and facial expressions that telegraph your interest and involvement with your subject, you will start creating images in the minds of your listeners.
You know that you have done something worthwhile. You've answered a challenge to yourself. You somehow feel more important, like nothing can really hold you back.
When they feel what you feel, see in their mind's eye what you have seen, you are communicating. You'll sense it, and nothing else will do so much to develop a positive frame of mind. Not everyone can speak from experience on such an unusual topic as skydiving, but everyone speaks from some kind of experience. Experience your audience wants to share, or you wouldn't have been asked to speak in the first place. So build your confidence by fulfilling your audience's wish to share. Emphasize the message. Recognize that the fear of stage fright is real, but the dangers are largely imaginary. Be your own doctor and analyze your fears. If they're all in your mind, you're the only one who can get them out. Then get them out by thorough preparation. Know your subject so well that you have more ideas than you need and can express them clearly and effectively. Define your purpose. If you know what effect you intend to achieve with your audience, it will give you confidence, particularly in persuasive situations. Practice. Know how you intend to begin and end, and use notes only as reminders of the points you want to include. Use whatever good speech techniques you've observed in others, especially those such as visual aids, which involve body movement and help to break your tension. Rely on the positive attitude you get from careful grooming and from interacting with the friendly faces. And finally, accumulate experience. With time, practice, and patience, you'll gain the inner poise and self-assurance to be at your best before an audience, to get the jump on stage fright.
You learn to respect and trust your equipment. You have confidence in it, and you know how to use it properly. That first step is a long, long one, and when things start to happen, it's vital that they happen properly.
The reward for mastering stage fright is a thrill that surpasses skydiving. A satisfaction with yourself which remains long after the applause is over.
So I was mentioning on the comments on YouTube that I can get up and talk in front of like 1,000 people. And I don't know how that happened. Probably because I have done incredibly foolish things in front of groups of people on purpose. And so that whole idea of looking like a fool, I'm not worried about it. But it's hard for me to do a cold call, like call somebody out of the blue. It's really difficult. My mom is the same way. It's weird. I certainly will do it if I need to, but it's just, that's where I have the hesitancy. Whereas, give me a microphone, talk to a bunch of people. People call me, it's no problem, but it's just initiating that phone call is just weird. Let's see, what time is it? Let's see if I got something I can show you. Okay, this is real short, and it's clipped. It's Food for Freedom.
From Nebraska and from southern Minnesota south to central Missouri. The biggest piece of fine farmland in the world with a cultural climate. A land 100 other crops to feed the world. That's why the United Nations look to the Corn Belt today for a good part of all food they need to win the war. 100 crops to beat the Axis. That's going to put a strain on our land. But we can do it. We've got to do it. We did the same job the last war. We used mass production. We grew corn and wheat and other crops we had under the plow. And then we broke out new land with fine straight furrows. We thought that was the right way to farm in those days. We had to break out new land, or we thought we did, to grow the food that Uncle Sam had to have. And after the war, we kept right on. Farming was getting to be big business, and we went in for expansion. We did a good job of it, and we were proud of our farms, proud of our production. Of course, when it rained, that was another story. Naturally, a lot of topsoil washed away. The furrows ran straight and true up and downhill all right, but the topsoil ran only one way. Many a good field was cut by gullies, and sheet erosion ruined a lot more. We began to notice we had to work harder, use more fertilizer to get a crop. Then we began to realize that maybe we hadn't been doing such a good job of farming after all. We hadn't been taking good care of our land. We found the topsoil washed downhill and dropped as silt won't grow corn. Poor land means poor crops, and poor farmers too. And a lot of us were getting poorer pretty fast, what with low prices and sick land. In the last 10 or 15 years, quite a number have moved on, trying to find new places and good soil. You can't make a living out of gullies. Today we're doing things differently. We're all working together to produce the right amounts of the right crops on time. We're making our farm program work. We're using conservation farming methods, taking better care of our soil. That's the only way we'll meet our food production goals. The only way we can raise the food the United Nations need. Take terracing and contour cultivation, for example. They stop erosion, but they do more than that. By holding the topsoil, fertilizer, and water on the fields, we get bigger yields per acre. Bigger yields per acre now, when we need them most. On pasture land, furrows hold the water and make better grazing. Earthen dams are easy to build and useful. They hold back water. They make stock water pools and store water for irrigation if it's needed. And grass. We're growing more grass all the time because it's a crop as well as a conservation measure. And good grass pasture is a good, inexpensive way to feed hogs. A lot of us are planting cover crops between the rows after the corn's been cut. Then we plow it under. It's a soil conditioner. That's one way to build up run-down land and keep good land good. Simple and easy, and good conservation farming. That's the sort of thing conservation farming is, after all. A big thing that helps us do big things. But some of the best practices are as simple and easy as ABC. Like putting manure and fertilizer and lime on the fields. These simple practices are important to America and the United Nations. Especially now. We found we can get more corn per acre, more soybeans, and more of just about everything we grow using these simple conservation practices. This means that if we use these methods generally, we'll surely meet our Food for Freedom goals. Food for Freedom. That's a good slogan, a battle cry for the farmers of America. And it makes sense, too. If we want to win this war, we've got to be strong, tough, and husky. So we've got to produce food, and a lot of it's got to come from the Corn Belt. We've got to grow more corn. We've got to grow more soybeans. We need soybeans for all kinds of food products, for salad and cooking oil. We've got to grow more beans, more tomatoes, more onions, more of all kinds of vegetables and fruits. We've got to produce more milk, and more butter, too. And more dried milk to ship overseas. And more cheese, an important concentrated food. More eggs, too. They dry them now to ship across the ocean. but they're still eggs and taste mighty good to a hungry man. We need more meat, more beef, and more sailors and civilians. Something that will stick to their ribs and keep them strong and husky. Food is an important part of the material of war. And since the only way we can produce the added food we need is through conservation farming methods, that's what a lot of us are doing, because we've got to keep them growing. We've got to keep them rolling by the trainload and by the shipload. We've got to send food all over the world. Food for the United Nations. Food for freedom. Guard and fighting for us here and on the other side of the world. They look husky, and it's our job to help keep them that way by growing the food they need. We've got to keep our bombers flying, too. That takes men, and men need food. Those strips curving around the hillsides are as more and more farmers are using conservation methods to produce the added food we need. To keep them flying and fighting, food for freedom.
Yay, food for freedom. Thanks everybody for tuning in today. I'll be back tomorrow. If you like what you saw, please hit like and subscribe. Please send us coffee if you feel the need to support us in our caffeine addiction. And visit avgeeks.com if you're interested in more things that we've done. We'll be back again tomorrow, 1 o'clock-ish. Sometimes we start a little early, but if I have silent footage, that's what happens. Sometimes I'm like, well, I'll just show a little bit beforehand. But yeah, everybody have a good rest of your day. We're supposed to get some storms tonight, but maybe we won't. I don't know. Who knows? But as always, it's great to see you. Please rewind and love each other. Take care of yourself. And we will see you tomorrow. Everybody, take care.